Still tuned in to Coffee and Conversation with Collette. It's a little bit after the 8 o'clock hour. If you are just joining us, thank you so much. If you have been with us for the previous hour, thank you so much. I'm just talking about a lot of stuff today. Just the state of the union, the state of our lives, the state of being a person of color in America, the state of your mind. How are you going to be better? How do you make America work for you? That's really what we're talking about. I got some housekeeping really quick. I want to do that. Let everyone know, please, you need to come out. Hood Research is having their monthly meeting this Saturday. That's on mañana, tomorrow, February the 9th, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Dabo Sheffield Center. That's 12048 Grand River, right on the corner of Wyoming. There's going to be an opportunity to win a lifetime membership. Bring your water bills, strategies on a solution of refreshments and wine tasting. Hey. For more information, call area code 248-234-2371. Again, 248-234-2371. Hood Research monthly meeting. Also want to let you all know, again, you got to come out on mañana as well. Beginning at 1 o'clock, the Wellness Mogul, Damian McSween, and Juicing by Jay. They're going to have an amazing event on tomorrow about detoxing and healthy living. That starts at 1 p.m. at the Northwest Activity Center. That's right at 18100 Meyer Road, Detroit. That's from 1 to 5 p.m. The cost is $20 for general admission. And if you want more information, you can go to facebook.com/wellness mogul. WELLNESSMOGUL. Those are our housekeeping items, and I appreciate your time and attention for that. And I'm going to go to the line. Thank you so much for your patience. Caller, good morning to you.
Hi, I hope that your cough is better.
Thank you so much.
Or doesn't happen anymore, actually. But obviously you have an allergy this morning, and all due respect, it's impacting you mentally.
Yes.
For you to go on, I listened for the last 15 minutes or so.
Okay.
And you were on a rant, so to speak.
Yes.
It sounded like you were hating on black people.
Nice.
Not realizing that, first of all, we're not in this situation by choice.
Stay there, sir. Stay there for a minute. What situation are we not in by choice? Being black in America?
We're not, listen, I'm going to explain. We're not in this situation based on some of the things that you're saying, oh, we won't do this, we won't do this. We had opportunities to do this. Sound kind of Trumpish to me this morning.
Nice. Okay.
Yes. I have to be honest. And I'll
it's
be
not a problem.
And right to the point. The fact is that we're under a system. This is not our system. You did make a good point. That's why they do what they do, because they own this system, and it comes complete with a military that will corner your behind and make you shut up, kill you, put you in prison, and everything else. If anything, we need to be walking away from this system, not trying to be proactive in it, because we ain't got nothing coming. We may get a couple crumbs here, they'll give and they'll take, but this is not our system. Yes, it's our land. We have a right to be in this world and on this planet, but this is not our system. We need to stop participating in it so we can create new systems. It may take a while. It may take maybe 1,000 years from now, but we got to get out of it. We have to get out of it. You mentioned, people could bought houses and all this kind of stuff. I think innately our people know that this is not our system, and we can't support any of our ideals or plans holistically because this is not our system. They could come in, it's historical. They've been doing this. They'll come in and knock you right out the box. This is not our system. So trying to be part of this system, oh, well, we want to do this, we want to build downtown. Please give me a break.
Okay, so stay there.
We need to walk away from it.
Okay, so stay there. And I appreciate your call, and I appreciate the conversation we're about to have. So when we walk away from it, where do we walk to? Where do we go?
It may take a while.
No, I hear you, but you said walk away. So I want to know where are we walking to? Where are we going to?
I'm not talking about literally just walk down the street away from it. I'm talking about participating in it.
Okay, so if it's going to take a while, what do you do in the interim?
Well, first of all, these systems are breaking down. That's why you get all these emboldened racists running around trying to beat themselves on the chest like, oh, we are this and that. They know that they're on their way out. They're on their way out. This system is on their way out, and the transition is going to be funky, and it's going to take some time. But we need not to participate in their crap.
Okay, so again, so stay there for a minute.
And it's going down like a plane.
Okay, so stay there again. What do we do in the interim? So if you're telling me that it's going to take a while, you're telling me, wait, let me finish my question. You're telling me that we should not try to make the system work for us, but it's going to take a while. I'm asking you, what do we do right now? So tell me what we do. What do? You still go to your job? You still live in your house? You still pay your bills? What do you do? So what do we do?
You live, you make sure you have a roof over your head, you have food in your stomach, and that you establish relationships with people, put out the word that we have to walk away from this crap. All of these highfalutin entrepreneurial kind of ideals and stuff like that. Try to do it within your own crew, but it's not. We're not going to have a suite on the 40th floor of the Renaissance. Not under this system. We're not. We're not going to build a Renaissance system. Maybe with some labor, but we're not even needing that anymore because of technology. Robots will do that. But
okay, so question. Okay, so stay there. So stay there for a minute. So if we're not supposed to know how to make the system work for us, if we're supposed to believe that something's coming whenever it's coming and you don't know when it's coming, but we're supposed to still live the everyday thing, why don't you just go back and be on the plantation? Because if you're still, hold on, if you're still telling me, well, we got to live, that means you're going to work, that means you're going to go to someone's job, because you're not talking about being an entrepreneur. You said, oh, no, poo-pooed entrepreneurship. So that means I'm going to go to someone's job. I'm going to still go through what the motions of what they say I should do and how I should do it. And I'm a part of this system still, but I'm doing nothing in it. So I'm just supposed to just be stagnant until this new way comes in, and then I'm supposed to reap the benefits of the new way when I can't make this way work? That's what you're saying to me?
It's not going to happen in your lifetime or mine. And I know you're very ambitious and all of that kind of stuff, but the thing is most people just want to live and enjoy the air and sunshine. If you call that plantation living, then you're really off the beat.
Well, that's so funny. Well, see, now, wait a minute. So you, hold on. Just wait a minute. Wait a minute. I got a question.
And all of that crap.
Wait a minute. So you can't have it both ways. Now, you just talked about we're not supposed to be in the system and we're supposed to just be here. But now you're talking about, oh, we're supposed to just live in the sunshine and the joy. Well, you can't live in the sunshine and the joy of an environment that you can't make work for you because you're just a slave in the process because there's no benefit that you're creating. You're surviving. Wait a minute. You're surviving. You're not living. You're not thriving. You're just surviving. So if you just choose to survive, if that is what you believe is your best life in this state right now to survive, have at it. All the power to you to just survive.
Simplicity, people living simply, it can be a beautiful thing. And you want to go and own boutiques or whatever
Yes,
automobile plants, good, go for it. But you're
I
not going
do.
to get anywhere in the system.
Well,
And people, you're saying just um, you responded to my saying just enjoy the sunshine and yourself and your friends or your lover or whatever. I think that's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful, and it's not plantation thinking. It's not just subsisting. It's living. This planet is ours. This system is not.
that's not what you
And
said,
you know
though.
what I'm saying? And if you think
That's not what you
just
said.
because somebody, excuse me,
That's not what
of
you
course that's
said.
what I said.
I'm telling you, stick to
This
what you
planet
initially
is ours,
said.
but this
If you,
system is
excuse
not.
me, wait a minute, let me finish my question. If you would have come out initially in your assessment of my rant, that guess what, Collette? Right now, we're reaping the benefits of living this life right now, not in this system, but enjoying the environment, enjoying our relationships, fostering relationships, and creating the best life we can right now. That would be a whole different conversation. That's not what you said.
Oh, girl, I
What
don't
you
know what
said
you.
was what
What I said was what?
you didn't say that. You just said, "Oh, we're not. This is not our system. It's we. I don't know when
It's
it's
not.
gonna change, but we supposed to
It's
just be
not.
here right now. And heaven forbid you want to be an entrepreneur. Heaven for you. Come on, stop it. If you don't
No, you
want to
need to.
do,
You the
if
one
you
that needs
don't
to
want,
stop self-hating.
excuse
You
me.
sound like you're a Donald Trump
I
puppet.
look. Guess
You know
what?
those two big black girls that be with Donald Trump?
And
They
guess
need to
what?
make it three, the Supremes. You be on it because you need to stop
It
uh,
doesn't. Guess
uh,
what? I don't
hating
have.
on black people in your dream state of being part of this racist system is not going to work. They do
Well,
not want you.
well. Guess
And
what?
I wouldn't want you either if it was my system.
Well,
We
guess
need our
what?
own systems.
No, well, guess what? At the end of the day, that's the beauty of having life. So you make the decisions based on what you believe your intellect and what your experiences are to live your best life. But as I have the conversation on this platform, which is Coffee and Conversation with Collette, I can create a conversation based on
You
what
certainly
my experience,
can.
excuse me, based on what my experiences are and based on what I've accomplished. So I own businesses, I own homes, I travel the world, I learned how to make this system work for me. And so that is my opinion. You don't ever have to agree with it. And I pray that you are happy right in how you live your
I
life
don't
right
use the
now.
word pray. Pray
Ex-
is a curse word.
excuse me?
Pray and that's a curse word.
Well, that's your opinion.
Yeah,
So it
that's
is
what
my
it is.
prayer then that you are in the great space that you're in, and whatever this great life somewhere down the line that you don't know when, and it could take years to come, that's going to believe you create a system where you can be empowered. I wish that for you. So thanks for
I'm
calling.
already empowered.
Have
I
a great
rejected
day.
this.
So at the end of the day, I think that's really interesting. I love that kind of commentating that, okay, so we're not supposed to be in the system. You don't even know the system. You don't know how to make the system work for you. This new world order is supposed to be some years that you don't know. And so you're supposed to just be stagnant. Well, maybe that's our problem. So many of us have been stagnant. And you keep making excuses. Stop it. You make excuse. Do you own your own home? So you're going to make an excuse that you can't own your own home? Is that what you're going to tell me? Well, Colette, I can't own my own home. Well, if you work every day and you pay a mortgage on your house, aren't you paying the mortgage to buy the house, but you can't own it? Stop. You can't have it both ways. Either you want to live and live the best based on how you define it. So if how you define it is you want to be the hamster on the wheel, just doing the proverbial going to the job, still working for someone else, not trying to be an entrepreneur, not taking ownership for why you are in the situation that you're in and haven't been the bigger picture of people of color in America, stop. That's the problem right now. That's why you can't reap anything because you keep thinking that you have this slave mentality that you can't make this environment work for you. Or you just wait until you die. Is that what it is? So it's going to be the great by and by when you die. And then when you die, then it's going to be great for you. I mean, I don't know. And if that's what you'd have it to be for you, more power to you. But that's not going to be my life experience. And having these conversations on this show right here, on this show right here, that says Coffee and Conversation with Collette, it's going to be this conversation. So thanks so much for your patience. Good morning to you.
How you doing?
I'm amazing. Thank you.
First, I gotta give a shout out to TV 33.
Yes.
Comcast Channel 91,
Yes.
WHPR FM 88.1.
Yes.
Rest in peace, J.D. Hill. Dear, I wish that you were on listening to J.D. Hill about 8 years ago.
Nice.
I wish, because not only was he talking about the EEOC, education, employment, ownership, and control, which you are a perfect example of doing, even though nobody at TV 33 say that to you and push you like that. You're a perfect example of what he was talking about.
Okay.
You went to school, okay? After you went to school, you got employed as far as you put your 10 years in corporate America, and you learned how to be an entrepreneur as far as managing property, meaning there's people who didn't meet you have a safe place to live right now. There's people who haven't met you are eating right now. There's people who didn't meet you right now are doing something successful that they had trouble doing before they met you. So you're doing that, okay?
Thank you.
And I know 3 years ago is when you said you were going to do that, okay? So
Yes.
you're doing that.
Yes.
So one of the things is that I talk about myself. I'm DJ 8 Mile. I've always said since JD here for 8 years, I'm colorblind. I don't judge the people. I judge the person.
Yes.
Second, I say I treat everybody as a child of God until they give me reason not to.
Yes.
You just did that the last conversation, whether they know it or not, whether you know it or not. But thank you for being a living example. See, most people don't understand what a true living example is, meaning you're talking about things that you're experiencing. You're not
Right.
just talking about things because you're bored. You're not talking about just to hear yourself talk, okay? And there's a leadership of mad love that's growing in you, meaning that if right now, if you got to go through a 999 knuckleheads to get to one diamond, so be it. But at least you're managing your life for that goal, okay? Because
Yes.
there's one that needs to be saved. It's
Yes.
99 that don't care.
Yes.
When you keep entertaining and wasting valuable mad love with people who really don't even know what you're talking about, because based on they're not trying to know what you're talking about,
Right.
or just want to waste your time and hear themselves talk, you don't have time for that anymore. And that's the transition that you're doing for January 1st.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
No.
Now let's go back to why you showed that speech.
Yes.
Okay, right now in our country, there are people that want to have money. And in the process of having money, they want to live comfortable.
Yes.
So right now, if you have a job paying $50,000 a year and you have to spend 14 hours a day at your job, when you come home, you don't really have time to wash diapers by hand.
Right.
You really don't have time to cook food from scratch. You really don't have
Right.
time to have your house in the manner of fashion that you want it in. If
Right.
you work in 14 hours, there's a transportation time. So
Right.
you usually need a reliable car that gets you there and get you back so you can get your 50 grand.
Yes.
So that's a support system.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I already spoke about that white privilege is always used either people from not this country or people who they feel was inferior to them. That's why come we have a majority minority. That's why come we have a superior inferior. So if you're part of the majority and you're part of the superior, and you can motivate or create a scenario where there's a minority and there's an inferior. Okay, that's the one cleaning your house.
Right.
Okay, that's the one working for you.
Yeah.
Okay? That's the one that watch your babies when you go out and do what you got to do.
Right.
So you just mentioned that if you comfortable being facilitating an individual because they're giving you monetary increments that's classified as legal tender, but when it comes down to your time and effort, they care less about you. If you sick or you interrupt the process, they have a problem with you. But you're committing your life to their goals and needs, dreams, wants, and desires. That's what you just said. So I never knew that I was so in tune with you and your mindset the way that you've been in tune with International Hip Hop, DJ 8 Mile, and Tools of Success. So,
Well, stay
thank
there, 8 Mile. You know why? Because that's what happens when like minds and people are in agreement. And the truth is, you want us to be better. I always think it's so interesting how people of color are always so quick to jump on other black people when we're trying to hold us accountable. I mean, we will say nasty stuff and we'll get strong and we'll do all kinds of stuff. But the people that don't look like them, who've been doing it, the people that manage you at your job, the people that you go pay your mortgage to, they can act any old kind of way to gain wealth and make this America work for them. And you don't say anything to them. But as soon as talk about self-hate, are you kidding me? You're just mad because I'm holding us accountable. You're mad because I'm saying to you, you don't have to be in the situation that you're in. It's no different than, now if a white person can sit and tell you it's okay, you don't have a problem with it. Yeah, they didn't have no problem with it. But because I say it, now you want to jump bad. Well, we can have a conversation. I don't have a problem with it. Like I tell everyone, I keep my lines open. There are other people who told me I wouldn't even entertain people's conversations. I keep these lines open. You can call and say whatever it is you think you want to say to me if you believe you can have an intelligent conversation. But there's nothing that, for the most part, specifically to that conversation, you can tell me that makes sense. I need to understand if you in America anyway, why not get what America can give you and if you can? I don't understand that. Because you're
Well,
American citizens. If you're going to walk away, you need to move. But if you can't make America work for you, where you going to go? You going to go to Africa? You going to go
they
to
don't
South
want you there.
America?
Meaning, like, I'm glad that you brought it up. Meaning, I describe myself from 15 as a U.S. citizen.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Now, as long as I describe myself as a U.S. citizen on this property,
Yes.
on this country, you can't hate on that. I started putting other on the job applications back starting 18, 19, 20. You know why? The average person will sit up here and argue with you about the concepts and things that come out your mouth.
Right.
Will go apply at a job.
Right.
They will read
Right.
on the job application
Right.
because it's a government requirement. It's against the law to not hire you based on race, creed, religion, or sexual orientation. But they asking you on the application, what color is you? How does that make any sense? It doesn't. But guess what, though? People that look like me aren't the ones that's putting in the laws that's a mandate on an application.
Thank you.
See,
Thank you.
90%, if it's 10% unemployed, that means it's 90% employed. I've never, if you go to this side of 8 Mile, from 8 Mile all the way to downtown, I've seen the transits just up and down all day long.
Yeah.
Go out to White Lake Township. Go out to Milford. Ain't none of that stuff changed. Go out to Northville. Ain't none of that stuff changed. It's been growing. They're creating a income tax, and they've always been able to come downtown Detroit, always became on this side of 8 Mile to pay their bills. But a lot of people that argue with you, they don't even know how to come up with a concept or a mindset where not to go work for somebody, but to create something where they can go on the other side of 8 Mile and pay their bills just the same way the people on the other side of 8 Mile come down to Detroit to pay their bills.
I mean, it's
And that
horrible.
ain't got nothing to do with color.
It doesn't,
So-
and it's horrible to even think to suggest that we can't be entrepreneurs. That we didn't you just see the clip we just showed of Frank Robinson? Didn't you? I mean, isn't that the whole purpose when they give us this little short month in Black History to talk about all the people who were entrepreneurs, who invented things, who pulled themselves up by the bootstraps? I mean, but we can't do it now? If they did it then, when everything was against them, from a historical perspective, you mean to tell me we can't do it in 2019? Stop it. I'm like, what matrix are you living in? The reason why it's not working for you, because you don't have a mindset. And I'm not mad at you, because not everybody thinks. Not everyone is going to want more. Not everybody is going to want to be more. There's some of us, absolutely, who will just be in this box, and that is the box that we will stay in. It's the box that they put us in. That's the box that they told you you should be in, and you will be in that box until you die. And heaven forbid, everything else that you touch, your children won't fulfill their dreams, your family members won't fulfill their dreams, because you all will be the main folks sitting there, the naysayers, talking about you can't. Oh, you can't do this. You can't go there. You can't buy that. You can't.
That's one of the first words I eliminated out of my conversation.
Thank you.
Before the age of 18 was
Thank
can't.
you. Thank you.
Okay, that's
Thank you.
one.
You
And the
thank
other
you.
one is when people tell you suppose. I've had two different women tell me two different suppose about the same thing. So I don't use the word suppose. Suppose is something that you believe, what you feel, what you think. There is a thing called proper order. There is a thing of non-chaos to be in a social society.
Sure.
Okay, I'm not denying that, but a lot of people feel their suppose should be your suppose, and you should
Right.
bow down to their comfort zone. Meaning, for some reason in the hood, women feel that their comfort zone come before everything else, and society can't run like that.
Ah,
Here, you compare to other countries, you don't even see that in the hood how the female comfort zone come before everything else. But if you have to adapt based on somebody else's comfort zones to get to the next point, you're wasting a lot of time in life. And that's what you had said to me when I had an event here in the city of Detroit, and didn't nobody show up like I thought they would. And you said, don't worry about it. That was a year ago.
yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, from a year to when you said that, right? You know, this past January, there's this hip hop artist that everybody heard of called Soldier Boy, right?
Okay.
Now, this last year, I went from just being about BET corporate radio, just like some of the people that congregate on this TV station, radio station. They just want to base their things on race or just base their things on their comfort zone.
Yeah.
I stepped out the comfort zone and I started pushing and promoting MTV artists, meaning they didn't have to be part of my organization.
Sure.
So that was Cardi B and 6ix9ine.
Sure.
My whole thing just grew just because of dealing with other people want, as opposed to not just what I want or just not stuck on what I think. After a year of that, somehow, Soldier Boy and OJ the Juice Man. OJ the Juice Man been part of our dude for years, but it's common acknowledgement, right? Soldier Boy turned me on to out of the top 100 artists that y'all hear on the radio station, 10 to 15 are part of international hip hop right now. Care less. You can go talk to them because in order to say that you part of national hip hop, you gotta be DJ Amar gotta know you. And
Yeah.
first you gotta say you're a member, then you say if you're a featured artist. So where's Khalifa? Little Baby, this year, the people who hear on the radio is part of what I do right now. So when I walk out here in these streets of Detroit, and I see people that not even part of the hip-hop industry, not even got mad love, not even respected in their neighborhood, don't even know no business owners, they want to talk crazy to me. I don't even say that no more because one thing me and you are doing right now is we have to be an example for the ones that's younger than us. We have to be there to show love to the ones that don't know how to love themselves.
Yeah.
See, that ain't got nothing to do with color.
No. And stay there
And
for a
so,
minute. And also, I've learned is that that's really a friend of mine who travels a lot from Detroit said the same thing. Is that the people in Detroit will literally try to curse your dreams and visions if they've never done anything out of Detroit. Because they've never experienced anything that would create a mindset for them to believe that it's more than what they see right here. And so that's why I told you at home, people will sit and poo poo you and whatever. Your organization's called International Hip Hop. So you don't have to hope that the people at home get it. You have a following and a contingency and relationships across this world. I've had the pleasure to travel and work and create business across this world. So I can come back into this space and tell you, for those of you who've never gone anywhere else, who've never done anything else, who never have any other experiences, that it is more than what you see right now. And you can make
thank you.
this
Thank you.
environment better because it's more than your experience. And the problem is you all can't get out of your own heads because you believe that what you've experienced in your whole little life in Detroit and maybe a little bit of part of Michigan is what the whole world is like. And it's not.
That's not true at all.
And it's not true at all.
Or the fact of when you look at 8 Mile, how you can be at what's that Hollywood and Woodward.
Right.
That's just a mile and 1/16 away from Woodward and 8 Mile.
Right.
And see a whole street of dilapidated property right across the street, not only from Palmer Park,
Yeah.
but from a mile when you cross 8 Mile.
Yeah.
There ain't no neighborhoods like that. The economics decline is starting to get in there, but you don't see it.
Man,
It's
stop.
blatant in Detroit where they made areas in Detroit uninhabitable so they can create buffer zones. Okay? Ain't nobody talking about that though. But you were the one that was like, okay, all this abandoned land in certain areas, why is it like that? You first bought a property in the first buffer zone in the city of Detroit over there in the Boston Garden because it was Claremont all the way to Davidson. That was the first buffer zone because you can't be making $100,000 a year, sending your kids to schools where people next door to you is 50, 60 people is not even getting $10,000 a year. And you're living there, you're making $100,000 and your kids there, and you think it ain't going to be no problems and we in society about money?
Thank you.
Yeah, all right. So you've been creating economics, safe places to stay, and a new mindset where people want to come into this community. They need to know they got to congregate with the locals. The locals need to be receptive to the new people in it. That's called tourism. Okay?
Or
That's
guess
you've
what?
been doing.
Or maybe at the end of the day you're not. I see all the lines a little. I'm gonna get to the lines. Or maybe you don't. And if you don't, and you want to stay in your silo, and you wouldn't believe that something's going to happen whenever it's going to happen, and you're happy and content in your space of constantly looking and poo-pooing on everybody else and thinking that you don't have free thought and you can think and say and do whatever it is you want to do in this great place called America, then that's the way you think. And so you stay in your box and you stay in your silo and you live your best life. And for those of us who are actively doing it, who have done it, who have been successful at it, who don't live in your box, who know nothing about your box, maybe you can learn because we live outside the box. I live in color. I don't live in black and white. So, A-Mile, I always appreciate you.
I
It's
appreciate that,
always a
man. Love
pleasure.
for you. Since I was the first caller yesterday, I want to make sure I get my ticket. I need to contact you because I'm just going to
Yes.
put it out here.
Yes.
Wiz Khalifa and Little Baby did say that if I create a music festival here in the city of Detroit, that they would come. There's also some other national talent.
Okay.
But it's an opportunity for there's a lot of people scared to come to Detroit. So I'm trying to create an event that right now, around Memorial Day, there's a safe place for you to come and be entertained.
Well, they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be scared to come to Detroit because if you look at Travelocity and the like, they have Detroit as a destination. So you can't have it both ways. You can't say that Detroit's a great tourist destination and then talk about you afraid to come to Detroit.
No, see, but that's the scam part. See, the ones that they say to come to Detroit is nowhere near coming around the people that look like me and
Okay. That's a different conversation.
I've been knowing about that for 15 years, where they ask you about coming to Detroit, but when it comes down to them hotels, they're going to be out in Troy.
Right.
You can, unless you can afford to stay in a hotel downtown.
Right.
So you're going to be staying out at the airport.
Right.
Okay? This is what I'm saying. That there's an event in the city limits of Detroit, and you are there. That's when you and your kids can sell some bean pies or draw some pictures or sit up there and dance and entertain people to give you some money or sell some clothes or whatever your idea is. Okay? Nobody's creating tourism for the average generation of residents of the city of Detroit to earn money from people that's not here. So first, that's what I'm trying to do right now.
Well,
period.
Well, we can have a conversation. Whatever I can do to help you shape that, not a problem, and I look forward to it. So
okay.
I look forward to talking.
Once you get the rest of your show.
Absolutely.
Man, I love everybody in the city of Detroit.
No problem.
DBA, my CEO of International Health.
Absolutely.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Have an amazing day.
You too, Ava. Thank you so much. So, I mean, that's what this conversation is about. It's about different perspectives. And it should be about respecting people where they are. Like, I don't even understand. Like, folks coming, I don't get it. I just feel that maybe you just feel some kind of way about you. Let me go to the line. Thanks for your patience. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Queen.
Good morning, King.
Excellent subject.
Thank you.
Queen, you know, the conversation is good.
Okay.
You know, I believe that you love black people, and I believe it's the reason why you even open up a show like you have, and you know, it really just shows you the condition that most of us are in. Yeah. You know, so you're bringing that out. You're bringing that out, which you begin to see the sicknesses that exist amongst us. Yeah. And that's really the problem. Like you say, it's the problem is not the oppressor. The problem is not the slave masters' children. The problem is us now. And your show is like medicine, really. And don't ever let it deter you from the way you think and the way you feel. Well, because what you're saying, you're absolutely right.
Thank you.
See, things that I believe, Queen, my children don't believe.
Okay.
My neighbors, most of them don't believe.
Right.
I don't have a problem with it because at one point I didn't believe in it. But I do today or whatever.
Right.
So it doesn't stop me.
Right.
I tried to be an example for them because I'm finding a lot of times you can talk to people and they reject. And I think the best way is just being an example. And then people begin to see, as you talk about the wellness and whatnot, the people look at your appearance and they say, well, they would say, well, what are you doing in your life? They begin to question you. What are you doing? What are you eating?
Right.
What are you drinking?
Right.
When are you going to bed?
Right.
They begin to figure all this out or whatever. And this is the way we have to be. Because, like I say, in dealing with the conditions that it's not easy.
No.
It's not meant to be easy.
Right.
And trial and are put in front of us to make us grow or whatever.
Yes.
It's not made to be easy. Otherwise, we would never grow.
Right.
And so when you talk about us, black people, it's like trying to put pants on an elephant. I mean, it's like going to a cemetery with a trumpet trying to raise the dead.
Trying to raise the dead.
This is the condition that we are in, really.
Right.
I mean, believe it or not. But
So wait, King, stay there for a minute. Stay there because I totally respect your counsel. And I want to ask you, so if indeed I am beating up on black folks, what am I supposed to say to us? Am I supposed to say, oh, it's okay, you're right, this environment isn't for us, and you just stay right where you are, and it'll get better, and maybe the next time we vote, the new president will help us, and maybe if you go down and try to apply to get some additional aid, they'll help you, and maybe if you call, I mean, is that I guess I'm just trying to understand.
No, Queen.
Yes.
You like a position.
Okay.
We need an operation, and it's painful. It's not going to be easy.
Right.
But in order for you to live, we got to do the operation.
Right.
This is the condition that, as a people, we are in. Really, it's going to be painful. Because it was painful getting in the condition that we're in.
Sure.
And so, what you're doing, you're not beating up us. You're making us think. Those who choose to think or get out the box, you're making us think.
Okay.
And I appreciate you in the conversation because it makes you think or whatever. You'd be surprised, like I say, your voice is so important. Thursdays and Fridays is so important. We need this really 7 days a week, 24/7. The condition that we are in as a people, we need this. Like I say, with Donald Trump, regardless, we argue back and forth with a group understand about Donald Trump. They say 45, but I say from George Washington to 45, I say none of them has been no good for us.
Right.
I mean, we can't put one over the other, Queen.
Right.
But something that he say, I have to agree with him. He's not wrong.
Right.
I have to agree.
Right.
And like you say, we can't sit around. It's like most of us as so-called Christians, we sit around waiting to die, to go somewhere else that's going to already be built up, waiting for us.
Right.
That's a sick mentality to me, Queen.
Right.
I think, understand, if you want anything, you got to go to work. Everything that I see in His creation, it's not sitting around. It's busy.
Say it.
Other than us.
And stay there. And if we say we are God folk and we have faith, the grain of a mustard seed, how can you not understand this environment and make it work for you? If you know that God is you and that you have faith, why should I sit in a box? Why should I wait until something's going to happen and I don't even know when it's going to happen and I'm supposed to just sit here and wait for it? That's the life that God has given you? That's the best use of the breath and the air that you get every morning when you are blessed to wake up? That's the best use of it?
You know, Queen, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, my father, taught us. He taught us that the end was coming, but he taught us not to be sitting around. He was about to work. He was about the business. He didn't stop.
No.
He was importing fish. He was opening schools. He was building homes. He didn't. But the end. He knew the end was coming one day. But in the meantime, let's be busy. We ain't gonna wait till the end come. We will be working right up to the end, trying to make things better.
Yeah.
And I think that's the point that you're trying to get to us. Is that you can't just sit around and complain and complain. Yeah, we went through slavery. Yeah, they did this, they did that. Understand? But my point is with that, why did God allow it? God allowed it. Now we got to figure out why God allowed it.
And stay there, King, and you make a great point. Because the truth of it is, those of us modern day, we didn't ever go through slavery. So stop. Let me just say that. So those of us who are sitting here on our laurels talking about, oh, we can't do nothing else, oh, you shouldn't do this, you didn't ever go through slavery. You weren't in slavery times. You weren't living there. It is the ancestors who went through that, which got the progress to the point of right now that you can do anything that you want to do. Can you imagine? Talk to the slave, the 400-year-old slave, to right now and see what that conversation would be like. And you mean to tell me you can't make this work? When we were confined to a plantation and there wasn't any borders, no walls, no shackles, no nothing. It was such a mental slavery that we were afraid to even walk out the boundary? Are you kidding me? And so you think right now you can't make in 2019 with everything that is afforded to you, from education to experience to travel to different mindsets to ideologies to philosophies, that you don't think you can figure out how to make this right here work? Stop.
And you're absolutely right, Queen. But like I said, why don't you question God? Where was God at for 464 years? Why don't you question him? Because he allowed it. You think he wasn't aware of what we went through?
And what we're going
we
through?
We figure out what was the purpose. What was the purpose? Like you say, we went back to 464 years ago.
No.
But we are the beneficiaries.
Thank you.
What they went through.
Thank
and
you.
so what are we going to do to make it better?
Thank you.
What are we going to do? Are we just going to sit around and complain, woe's me, woe's me?
Thank
you. No.
Thank you.
Get up and get out the box.
Thank you. Or just stay in there.
Start with your children. Start
Yes.
with your neighbors. Start on the block.
Right.
That's the way it is, Queen. Ain't nothing spooky about it. Ain't nothing spooky about it, Queen. We got a spooky mentality. And what, like I said, Queen, you make us think. And you love black people.
I'm black.
That's
Hello.
my
Let me
opinion.
just stay there for a minute.
And I understand,
I'm black. How am I not gonna love you? Because I'm black. I love me. So if I love me, I love you. But I'm not sugarcoating anything. And everyone, if I have the opportunity to be on this wonderful station and Comcast and Roku and Fire Stick, if you don't like it at any given time, you can tune into all them other stations and let's see what they gonna give you. And maybe you'll just agree to what they're consistently throwing into you, a hopelessness, a killing, a fear, a no opportunity. Maybe you just want to keep being brainwashed by that. And that's fine. That's why you have America and free will, and you have a remote, and you can do whatever it is that you choose to do. But for those of us who are right here, you're going to be educated, you're going to be enlightened, and you're going to be empowered, whether you take it or not. That is the truth of where I stand and the conversations that I'm going to have to us. And it's not based off of what I think, it's what I know. I've had experiences. I've learned this system and how to make it work for me and my family. That's why I can sit and tell you how to make it work if you want it to be better for you. And yes, things are changing. Society is changing. The end of the world and life as we know it, the structure, the government systems are changing, which creates a nomadic mindset for the majority of us. The walking dead for the majority of us. Those who live in a box and we're so afraid to get out of it. We don't even have a mindset to believe that we can be more. And that's where you want to stay. You stay right there. No problems, King.
No, but you know that, like you say, every day everything is constant. It's a constant change. The
Yes.
universe is constantly changing.
Yes.
Nothing stays the same. It's constantly changing.
Yes.
And we have to constantly move. When you stop moving, you're dead.
You're dead.
You're
King,
dead.
I love you.
You're
That's
in
the
neutral.
best
Love
way
you,
to
Queen.
that's the best
Have a
way to
blessed
sum it
and
up.
safe weekend. Keep up the
Absolutely.
good work.
Absolutely. I love you. I appreciate it. Got one last call. You're the last caller for today. You got a minute. Thank you. Good morning to you. Caller,
Hello?
you there?
Hello?
Yes.
I got to turn my TV down, I think.
Please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. You talked about the president. I just want to make that thing one point about.
Sure.
He wants to build a wall. Walls to me are like bars. It
Okay.
keeps people out, keeps people in.
Yes.
Who do you want to keep in? He wants to keep us in, or he wants to keep those out.
Right.
You know.
Great point. Great point. And I think that's a great way to sum up our time today. Thanks so much for calling. It's a wall. Your mind is a wall. What you create in your mind can either let things in, let information in, or keep information out. And so at the end of the day, I believe if you want to be better, you have to be aware of everything that is happening around you. We have to be able to have the conversations right for what's given to us because it's always going to be more for us. We can start off with the State of the Union. There's still a couple other clips I didn't even get to. We can start off with that, but it's going to be always deeper for us. It's never just what's presented. It's never just what it is for us. If you want to understand this America, we have to have the conversations that really matter. And if you want to make the America work for you, it's a mindset. It's shaping a narrative and then putting the discipline and the action to make that same government that you believe was against you to work for you. But you got to be able to understand and believe that you can. And all these naysayers and all these people that say that you can, and the truth is the fear that you listen into yourself that says you can't, that's what blocks you. It's the mind. So what's your wall? What's that border that you're creating? Because it's either going to enhance and make you better, or it's going to keep you in the box and keep you stagnant. I'm going to leave us with this quote on today. It is, quote, change will not come if we wait for some other person or if we wait for some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change we seek. Let me give it to you one more again. Change will not come if we wait for some other person or if we wait for some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. That was from our own President Obama, his campaign speech for 2008. So if you want things to be different in your life, I challenge you to make a change of how you see things, how you see yourself, how you assess the information around you. The ability to know that you can be better, that you can make a situation better. And right here, right now, this life, right now, it can be your best life yet. You don't have to live in a box. You don't have to be in a silo. You don't have to be held slave and hostage to this history of believing that you can't. You can be whatever it is you want to be. This is America. This is your life. This is your time. Until not next week, everyone. I'm traveling. I'll be out of the country next week. I'll be in Cuba all next week. I can't wait to tell you all about that when I come back the following week. So please get the information next week. I can't wait to find out what you've done, how you've been educating yourselves and empowering yourselves and creating an ultimate enlightenment. So a week from now, we'll be back to have conversation that matters. That's a conversation that we have on Coffee and Conversation with Collette. I appreciate you. Make today amazing. See you then.